Emmerdale reveals Celia's terrifying new threat to April. April's life is on the line after she's arrested. Emmerdale's April Windsor fears for her life next week when sinister Celia Daniels issues a terrifying death threat. The exploited teen has some explaining to do when she's arrested on suspicion of drug smuggling. I think pitching Celia as a calm, calculated predator makes this arc especially chilling. She's a believable threat, not a pantomime villain. Concerned that her employee could bring down her secret criminal empire, Celia makes April all too aware that if she blabs to the cops, there will be serious consequences. Can April escape Celia's killer clutch? The drama begins when April is picked up by the police on the streets of Newcastle when they discover that she's hiding a stash of drugs on her. She's hauled down to the station for questioning. Desperate, April doesn't know who to turn to, but realizes she needs help. Scared to drag her family into the murky mess she's trapped in, April reluctantly calls her granddad and summons him for assistance. It's clear April choosing Bob over Marlon is all about shame and protection. She's trying to save her dad from pain while drowning in it herself. Flabbergasted Bob arrives at the station to be April's appropriate adult. Greeted by his frightened granddaughter, who insists the cops have made a mistake and it's all a terrible case of crossed wires. As D.S. Clark interrogates April over the drugs, she denies everything. But it's clear she's being shifty. The copper asks April outright if she's being exploited, and for a moment she's tempted to reveal all and bring this nightmare to an end. Bob is horrified to see the state of his grandchild. Is this the moment April betrays Celia? This moment shows how coercive control silences victims. The danger isn't just the gang. It's the terror that confession will put everyone she loves at risk. Deciding the potential repercussions for her loved ones are too dangerous, April stays quiet and sticks to her story that the police have got it wrong. Uncooperative April is eventually released, pending further inquiries, and pleads with Bob to keep this to himself and not mention anything to Marlon. This goes against worried Bob's instincts, but when April says she'll never speak to him again if he tells her dad, he's left with no choice but to respect her wishes. Returning to the village with Bob, April tries to put the incident behind her, but fuming Celia and Ray are waiting, and they want answers immediately. Apologetic April frantically explains what happened in the interrogation and how she stuck to her story and insisted she knew nothing about the drugs. Although April is full of remorse, it doesn't alter the fact she's drawn attention to Celia's nefarious network, which also includes keeping vulnerable people like Bear as slaves. And the police are now sniffing around if their cover is blown. Celia tells Ray that April will be the one who pays the price with her life. Despite embarrassed April's pleas, Bob remains uncomfortable about keeping her dad in the dark. Innocently confiding in Celia about his urge to come clean to Marlon about the arrest, Bob has no idea he's unwittingly made things worse. Steely Celia plays mind games with gullible Bob, assuring him that April's arrest was just a blip and is unlikely to come to anything. However, good guy Bob can't shake the sense it's his moral duty to fill Marlon in and sets off to do just that. I think Bob breaking the silence is inevitable and necessary in soaps and in life. Secrecy is the oxygen that keeps abusers burning. When April later finds herself alone with seething Celia, her boss tells her she's used up her last chance. Is she about to bump off April? And will anyone come to April's rescue before Celia exacts her terrible punishment?